Hey guys, and welcome to a very special rig rundown. Today we're checking out a very unique Land Rover Defender that's got a pretty special story to go with it. So I'm here with Nick and Mitchilde from Next Meridian Expedition, who have taken the time out of their very busy travels to walk us through their awesome Land Rover Defender today. So guys, great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Nice meeting you too, Daniel.
So your epic Land Rover Defender, this has literally been around the world with you, which is, I think, something that's pretty unique, and not a lot of people bring their vehicle around the world when they travel with them. How's that been going for you?
Well, honestly, it's been really good. I mean, we just started Australia 3 days ago with the Defender.
Wow. Yep.
We still have to lap all of it, but the idea was to all 7 continents in 3 years. I think it'll end up being 5 years.
Yep.
And
or more. We left from the French Alps 2 years ago, and we toured through Northern Europe, Scandinavia. Then we shipped to Canada, went all the way from Alaska to Patagonia, and now we ship to Australia.
Oh, that's so impressive. Was it always the idea to set up a vehicle to bring it around the world with you, or is it just something once you set it up, you're like, I can't leave this behind, it has to come with us?
We kind of thought about it, but we really wanted to do all continents. After we have Asia and Africa, so it's a several years long trip.
Yep.
And in that idea, we invested so much energy in making this vehicle comfortable like a house.
Yeah.
And it's really like no camping, no hotel. We live full time in this thing.
Yep.
So from that point of view, even financially, it almost doesn't make sense for us to switch vehicle from a continent to another.
Yeah. And I suppose because you're living out of it full time, you want it to be as comfortable as possible, and also set up the way that makes sense for how you use it. So having your own vehicle that you've spent all that time kind of tinkering and making perfect just makes a lot of sense, really.
it does, yeah. The only thing is when we're shipping, there's always that delay of, okay, now we don't have a home, we'll go fly back home to our country, which is France.
Yeah.
And we'll wait. And then once we're back in Albatross, it really feels like we're home because everything's in there. And if we're not in there, it feels like we're backpacking because we're putting everything in a backpack or a suitcase, and then it feels like we're camping.
Yeah.
So this is definitely home, yeah.
Now we can't finish without the Land Rover. It's part of the trio. We call it Albatross, and it's just a member of the team.
So Albatross, the Land Rover Defender, I love that. Where did the name originate from?
Albatrosses are great travelers.
Yep.
And we kind of like the symbolism of it.
Yeah.
So we wanted something white. A bird was great because they travel so much and we travel so much.
That's about it, yeah.
Awesome, yeah, every good travel vehicle has to have a nice name, so that seems very fitting. So today we're essentially going to do a full walkthrough of this epic Land Rover Defender, starting at the front, working back, and I guess covering off all the things that you guys have done to make it your own very unique travel vehicle.
Sounds good.
All right, so starting right at the very front of the vehicle, a lot going on here. Do you want to walk us through your bar work and everything that's attached to it?
Yeah, sure. We've got a 4,500 pound winch.
Yep.
Multiple headlights just because we don't drive at night usually, but because of the animals, especially you guys have kangaroos and big cows in the middle of the road at night, we wanted spots that really spread light on the corners and in front.
Perfect.
Bash kit right in front, bash guard. Yep. So far it has been useful, especially for river crossings.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I can see on the front of the headlights here, there's some grilling here. Is that factory standard or something you've added to protect the headlights?
We've added the 2 grills, we've added the bumper, we've added these plates out here, the checkered plates.
Yeah.
This is not standard. The reason is just to protect the headlights from branches mostly, because we'll be going to Africa later in life, and so I think it's going to be a lot bushwhacking, and so this was what we wanted.
Need that added protection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LED headlights, all of them have been changed, and then above here we've got a bonnet bag. Technically, we did not want a roof rack for 2 reasons. One, for shipping, since we're shipping a lot. We didn't want the car not to fit in a 40-foot container.
Oh, right, okay.
And you could remove the roof rack, put it on the side when you're shipping. It's totally possible. But we didn't want the weight. That was the second reason. We wanted everything well low below.
Yeah.
And so we found this bonnet bag, which was custom built in the UK, waterproof, sandproof, whatever, and that's mostly just camping gear. So the chairs, sleeping bag, tables, snorkeling for Australia. Yeah, things like that. And so if anyone steals something from here, we won't be too upset because it's not expensive.
Just can't go snorkeling or do those fun things.
Exactly.
That's great too. I guess better being on the bonnet than the roof as well for access.
Yeah.
You're not having to get up and kind of access something that's right up high.
Exactly,
It's just right there on the bonnet.
Yeah.
And a lot of Defenders have the spare wheel on the bonnet, don't they? So they kind of, in a way, set up for that bonnet storage to be.
That's correct, yeah. The older Defenders have the tire. We have the new one with a bit of a bump.
Okay.
And so because the engine comes out a little more, and so yeah, it was perfect for the back.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, very useful.
On this side, we have the shovel. Now the shovel, a lot of people might think that it's to, you know, dig out sand or park leveled or whatnot. It's actually our bathroom shovel.
Oh, there you go. In a nice, quick to access location.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I mean, we could use it for if we're bugged somewhere or removing sand from the tires or whatnot, but yeah, that's the little story about the shovel.
The bathroom shovel, love
it. VHF antenna.
Yep.
We wish we had the channels one, but it's VHF, and so we just put the frequency to the right channel, and that's
so you have to manually dial it in.
That's correct, yeah. And then one thing that we had installed just here for Australia.
Yep, the kangaroo repellers.
Exactly. We'd never heard about these things before, and someone's like, you should get these things, and we Googled it, and we're like, okay, sure.
It's one of those things, it's hard to know if they're effective, but it's better to have them and them not be effective than not have them and they could have protected your vehicle from, from an incident. I'm sure you'll go past a lot of wildlife on our Australian roads.
We already did, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it works, but like you say, we'll see.
Yeah. So moving on to the engine powering this beast, we'll take a look under the bonnet.
Here we go.
Nice, it's a bit heavier with your bag on the bonnet there as well, I suppose.
It does, yeah.
Well, it looks very clean for a vehicle that's travelled around the world.
That's because we had to get it into Australia.
Oh, of course. So you have to really kind of go through it with a fine tooth comb to make sure it's all pristine.
Tons of toothbrushes, yeah. Right. So the whole engine, the whole chassis, everything with a toothbrush. It took us 8 days.
Yep.
The two of us together.
Yep.
And then we had to just make sure there was nothing in there.
Wow, okay. So they really, well, they check for contaminants, do
Biosecurity, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's seeds, plants, animals, bugs, anything. So even the intercooler with little needles, we were pushing out all the bugs. It was insane. It was insane.
Is it satisfying to get it to that clean level too? Even though it's a hassle to have to do it to get it in, but once it is clean, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's true. It is pleasant to see it now like this.
Yep.
But the first video we put of us in Australia is us going full speed in a puddle, just to be like,
you got to rip that band-aid
off. Baptized, ready for Australia. We're not looking back. You know?
Nice. I'm sure we are full of red dirt before too long when you start heading up to the northern regions.
Yeah.
So engine-wise, this is what model engine do you have running this?
So this is a 2.2 liter Ford engine, 4-cylinder. It's actually a very small engine. Now what we did to it is we changed all the silicone hoses that go from intercooler to turbo and engine. We put a bigger intercooler and remapped the engine from 120 horsepower to 170.
Wow, 170. That's a pretty respectable figure, and I suppose all the weight you're carrying, you probably need that additional power to pull yourself up nice big hills.
Exactly.
Off-road.
Yep. Yeah, so it really makes a difference. And what we noticed, we have like an OBD reader on our phone.
Yep.
And it actually shows the temperatures are much lower now that we've unlocked its potential.
Yeah.
Because it was tuned down by factory, and so it was actually heating up more. So
it's just running more efficiently now,
Exactly.
essentially, yeah. You probably had a bit of an economy difference too, like fuel usage-wise.
We didn't notice it. A lot of people say that, but for us it didn't change. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess because you got that extra power
Probably.
you're using, even if it stays the same, that's probably the equivalent of the economy getting better. So moving around to the side of the vehicle now, again, lots going on here. And the first bit I really want to draw your attention to is this nice little protection around the front right indicator.
We were in Mexico, and because of the bushwhacking driving we were doing, a company in Switzerland was like, guys, I'm going to send you some of these so you can protect your indicator.
Yeah.
And they're here now, and a lot of people always joke like, are you really trying to protect the indicator? We said yes. So
absolutely.
There we go.
Fantastic, love it. Moving back a little bit, I can see there's a bit of an air intake here. I'm guessing that's not for your engine?
No. The engine is the snorkel right here, and this one is for actually the air unit.
Yep.
So it's got a filter in here, so that we're not getting all the dust when we're on the dust roads.
Of course, yep.
And that's the only reason that's here. So it's an extra little layer of breathing clean air type of thing.
Fantastic, love it.
Yeah.
And the snorkel you mentioned earlier, is this a custom job or is that a factory Land Rover snorkel?
Custom job.
Custom
job. Normally it was right here, the hole, and it was taking air from the front, kind of with an open lid.
Okay.
And so this is completely sealed, so we can go into water as well.
So for our next bit, we're down underneath the side of the vehicle. What's going on down here?
So we got these little boxes custom built. They're actually very rare on the market. But we built.
Wow, look at that.
We mostly put in here all the oils.
Yep.
Just because we don't want them inside and leaking.
Yeah, yeah.
So all the oils go in here, and it's perfect just because it keeps the weight down low.
Yeah, of course. Yep. It looks pretty well sealed around the edges there too, so you don't have to worry too much about when you go through water crossings.
Yeah.
How much
few
moisture
drops,
you're getting in, few drops.
but not too bad.
Yeah, as long as you're clean clothes on in there, then you're all good. Yeah. Is there one of those on both sides too, you were saying?
That's correct, and it's flush with the chassis, so it's not
so nothing's hanging down.
Nothing's hanging down and losing that height level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So just swap presenters to continue running through the side of the vehicle. I noticed down here you've got some pretty impressive looking side protection. Is this something factory on Land Rovers or something custom you've added?
No, that's custom made as well. We kind of like them because contrary to some bars that can be protection on the side, they're really like alongside the body, so it doesn't take space.
Nice, and I can see there's a couple of cutouts in the rear section here. Are they for anything special?
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, but we have a table fitting here that is actually the floor of the car. So
oh wow, okay.
we can like transform it.
We'll check that out when we get to the rear of the vehicle.
It's really cool.
Fantastic. So moving along, I can see you've got some recovery tracks mounted to the side.
Yeah, so all of this is really, really compact. We really like it. So this is actually a table.
Oh, look
so
at that.
it's both a table and supporting the max tracks.
That's fantastic. That's quite a nice amount of real estate too for like, meal prep and all that.
Yeah, that's really our cooking table, and a new development around here that happened just last week. We got ourselves a little going that opens up also on the inside of the car.
Look at that. That is awesome.
We feel like it gives a bit more of an Australian look to the car now.
Yeah, so your own little miniature canopy in this area.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Fantastic. It's got some little Velcro bags up here as well.
Yeah, all of this is new too. We got it in Perth actually.
Oh, really?
And yeah, we need to finalize some of the installation, but there's a LED light to be able to cook.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty simple setup thing.
Nice.
And then we have above here a shower tent.
Yep.
It gets really useful when it gets really cold or very windy.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need it here in Australia. There's just no one around most of the time.
Yep.
But in cold places, it was good.
Yeah, so
really
that just kind of extends out to this area here, does it?
It opens up like this, and we like it because it's also pretty compact compared to some of the products you find on the market. Little but meaningful is this little cache that we added. This is our refuel station, and it would get all like dusty on the South American road, so you always need to like clean this area super well before putting the diesel. So it's just a piece of plastic, but we're really happy we have it.
Nice, yeah. There's all that stuff you kind of learn when you're on the road, like experiencing those problems, and that's when you. So you're running the BFG tyres?
Yeah, BFG all-terrain KO2.
Yeah, they're great tyres. I actually used to run those on my previous car, and they were fantastic tyres.
We can say that we never popped a tyre, ever.
Right.
Like the only puncture we got was on a parking lot in Canada at the beginning of the trip because of an actual nail.
Oh, okay.
And with those tires, we've been everywhere driving every day, and never they failed on us.
Yeah.
So even that one that was popped because of the nail, we repaired it and it went on for another 30k.
Wow.
Like it's crazy.
That's a good testament to the tires. I can see you've got a, is that a custom valve stem on the end there?
So those little gadgets, they're really cool. They're TPMS readers. We got them on Amazon actually, so it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And we have a reader inside the car. And we were driving so much, and we were always conscious of maybe having a puncture or something. And we're like, do you see if the back tire is all right? And it got a bit stressful. And with those, we have the numbers like displaying on the monitor.
So you know exactly
inside.
what all your tires are at all times.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the suspension of the vehicle, because traveling all the kilometers you do, I'm guessing you want it to be as comfortable as possible. Have you upgraded it, or is it still factory standard?
No factory standards. We also upgraded it. So we have a double coil. So we added the 130 Defender suspension on this one.
Yep.
And we added also Koni shocks heavy duty.
Nice. Yep.
And they're really good. We added them in Mexico, and they've been doing great work for us.
You'll definitely appreciate those through the corrugations when you head a bit further up north around Shark Bay for sure.
We heard it was really bad.
So moving on to the rear of the vehicle, there's a lot going on here. So yeah, walk me through all the bits and pieces here.
So we're in another room of the house here. The bag maybe we start with.
Yep.
So classic rear tire bag, but we like it. It was made by a company in Colombia.
Okay.
And it has more pockets. It's done with very, very good material because it's a company that was doing sailing equipment.
Okay.
So completely waterproof.
It looks bigger than most rear bags I've seen on a lot of cars.
But still holds on pretty well because they tend to look a bit saggy sometimes.
Yeah, a bit droopy after a while.
For us, it's really a way of like keeping anything dirty outside of the car. Dirty or smelly. So we have the garbage bag always here.
Yep.
And we have like dirty laundry here. And here we have, you know, like buckets, things we use for oils or cleaning or dishwashing, which is really accessible. And we love this thing because you remove anything dirty and it's out.
Yeah, for sure. And this structure around the wheel, what is this?
This has a whole story, but we built it in Peru.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a simple endeavor. Long story short, what was supposed to take 4 days took 15.
Okay.
And it's very heavy, but we still like it.
That's always how those projects go, isn't it? They always blow out longer than you expect.
Yeah, and in the middle of Lima, the capital of Peru, it was a sport. Eventually, it's a carrier that we used to add this box. We needed to add a styling because we also do YouTube videos, and it became difficult to upload the videos. So this basically carries our styling that is up there.
Right. It's the internet box.
It's the internet box, but yeah, it holds on well and it's some weight, but for now we don't have another solution.
Yeah.
We might switch this for an aluminium tray to like remove some of the weight in the future, but for now we keep it like that.
So you've got some more protection around more lights here. Every light on this vehicle is protected.
You never know what can happen. Yeah. And we have a shower, so that's our shower exit.
Oh, okay.
It comes from here. We can just plug the hose here and then like bring it to the shower tent that is on the other side.
So moving on to the left-hand side of the vehicle with our swap presenters again. So Nick's going to show us, I guess what's all the different accessories on the left-hand side of the vehicle.
Sure. So the first thing we have here is just a normal Pelican case. So in here we have all the recovery gear, so it's quick and accessible. Here we have a jerry can of 20 liters of diesel. Yep. And here it's 20 liters of water.
Nice.
Drinking water. And up here's just a 90-degree awning, comes straight out. It would be amazing to get the 270, so that it would also get to the door. So that's maybe the next thing we'll install.
Okay, yep.
But it's probably the kit we use the least on the car.
Oh, really?
So that's why we're like, man, we don't really...
I suppose with these, you kind of operate inside the vehicle more than around the peripheral.
Exactly. Now, what we have here is a little box, and here's all of our cooking. And on the other side is a 45-liter auxiliary diesel tank. It's waterproof, and when we have our picnic later, we bought this one in Argentina. So everything from this car, like you're hearing, Matilde was saying Colombia, and then we said Mexico. A lot of the things in this car.
A collection of pieces from around the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, very unique. That's awesome. See a lot of stickers here from all the countries that you've been to.
Yep.
That's a pretty impressive collection of stickers.
Yeah, and you know what?
No Australia?
Would you like to stick Australia? Each country, there's a story behind each person that's stuck the sticker.
Sure.
And that's how we keep a memory of each country as well through the stickers.
Yeah.
And so you'll be our Australian memory.
Oh, what a nice day. Well, I'll be honoured if you're wanting me to fill that role.
Sure.
So now that we've pretty much covered the exterior of the vehicle, I hear there's a bit of a fit out on the inside too. Should we start on this left-hand side rear door?
Yes.
Is there a seat? No, there's no seat. Wow.
So this black part you see here is the inner cabinet.
Yep.
And so there's a hole on this side to put in quick access things. So here's a 20-liter drinkable water. Yep. 10 liters drinkable water, Coleman double stove. Yep. So it works with fuel. We didn't go with gas just because the valves are always different in each country, and finding gas is always a pain. That fuel, when you go fuel up your car, you fill this up too.
Sure.
ARB double compressor, and this is the 65-liter water tank, which goes at the feet of the passenger seats when there used to be passenger seats.
The whole way across the other side.
Whole way across, yeah. And so we use this for the shower water, which Matilde showed you in the back. Yep. It's also, we have a sink up there. And so brushing our teeth, cleaning our dishes, then we have this hose to fill up buckets, same thing for the dishes, and showering. Now these are the heat exchanger pipes. Yep. So that we can heat up the shower for our showers. So technically it's taking the coolant from the engine and it's bringing it down the chassis and through here. And then inside is a shower pipe, a metallic shower pipe, so it radiates the heat. Yep. And so it's a closed circuit. Right. It goes back into the engine.
Heat from the engine to heat your water supply. Wow, that's so cool.
And in the front we have a console where we can turn it on or off, because a lot of people, what they do is it's always on. And so the water ends up being 80 or 90 Celsius. Right. So they have to wait a few
You're trying
hours.
to have a shower with 80 degree water.
So for us, there's a little valve that turns on or off. And so when it's around 40 Celsius, we turn it off because that's the perfect temperature.
How do you monitor the temperature?
There's a monitor.
Oh, so you can see the temperature and control on or off. Oh,
exactly.
Very cool. So moving around to the right-hand side of the vehicle, would you have something similarly configured in the rear right-hand door?
Completely custom as well.
Yeah.
So this shelf was built by Mathilde's dad.
Oh, really?
Custom, just had to fit in there.
Yeah.
And this is where we keep all the electronics.
Okay.
So in here we have the drones. We have 2 drones in here. Up here we have the computers and the electrical plugs.
Nice. You can keep stuff charging while you're on the move.
That's correct. Yeah.
Around.
It really makes it really easy.
Yep.
And we have up here a power bank.
Yep.
This is a 50 amp power bank, and we have an auxiliary of 90 amp hours for all the charging.
Oh, so you've got 2 separate power sources.
That's
so
correct.
You're not kind of relying on the one or the other.
Because we've had a bad experience in Canada where our DC fried.
Oh,
and we couldn't charge anything.
Right, of course.
And luckily we had this as a backup.
Nice.
So we're keeping it as a backup.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that looks kind of lame, but it's actually a little curtain for the evenings.
Oh,
so no one's looking in.
Yep.
And then we have a second curtain inside for the front.
Yeah.
So that way we're really boxed in.
And imagine that would be a bit of heat proofing as well, being that reflective coating.
Can do, yeah.
All right, shall we make our way down to the rear and have a look inside the back?
Sure thing.
Setup?
Ta-da! This is the rear. So I'll just say here.
And that's hydraulically assisted as well.
Yeah, because when we're parked a little slanted, the door kept falling on us, and it was just becoming tiring.
I love how you've learned things in your travels that have then been like you come up with solutions for.
Completely.
Yeah.
This was also Peru. Yeah. This door is getting very heavy, so we're being mindful that one day we might have to change what Mathilde said, that rear carrier.
Yeah, sure.
So down here we've got a quick cooking table. So that we can cook here or outside on that black table that was on the
You never have too much bench space,
Exactly.
with setups like this.
What we try to do is for every national park that we've really had a good time in is we try and get the stickers.
Okay.
For Australia, we still have to. We just started, so we haven't had any Australian stickers yet. But there's a bit more space.
A bit of real estate down here, maybe.
Exactly, and then I don't know where we'll go, but we don't want to spread too far.
Yeah.
So this is Mathilde's personal stuff. This is my personal stuff, mostly like shavers and things like that. And then we share this space, which technically is so the whole bathroom set in the middle. So toilet paper, toothbrush, shampoo. And then here's mostly my private shampoo stuff and Mathilde's private toiletries.
Yep. Yeah. And a first aid kit front and center, that's good.
You need it.
Have those essential bits covered.
Rip it out.
Very nice.
And a little working light if we really need.
Oh wow, that's so neat.
And that's it.
Oh, that's cool. Is that battery powered or is it running off your 12-volt setup?
12-volt setup.
Nice. Alrighty, so before we take a step inside, I hear there's one more step we have to do to expand the room inside.
So it's called a pop top, and all we do is push up the roof.
Oh wow. Look at that, that is so cool.
And that's it.
So as you can see, Mitchilde is now standing up inside the back of the Land Rover, which is pretty fantastic. So this is what's called a roof conversion, or a pop top, is it?
Yeah, we call it the pop top roof, and it makes the inside like a full room.
So we are now inside the back of the Defender with tons of headspace. I can literally stand up, and this is on like the kind of the lower side, really. That's just fantastic. So yeah, give us a quick run through of your interior setup.
So many things happening here. This is basically our living room. Yeah, we have nice wooden counters. We have pictures on the fridge.
Oh, nice, yep.
Like in a real house. So it's mostly storage, but we like to keep things extremely tidy. So everything has a space.
I was going to say, for living on the road, this is remarkably tidy and clean.
We've been told
like, I go away for a weekend and my car is an absolute mess, so credit to you for keeping it so tidy.
I think it's a survival aspect. Like you need to, I mean for us at least, to be able to live comfortably in this car for a long time, we need to have it like, everything, every single item has space.
Yeah.
So we'll go from top to bottom, maybe on this side of the storage.
Yep.
Nice counter. We rarely cook inside, except if it snows or rain heavily. So it happens we cook here.
Yep.
This is the spices. We have a sink with a little pump.
Oh, is that running water?
Yeah. So it's mostly for brushing teeth. When it's good weather outside, we rarely do dishes or anything like this. So it's.
Where does the drainage go for that?
The drainage goes straight in back down, so it's a straight pipe outside.
Just outside the vehicle.
Yeah, but we never really use anything dirty here. It's really like toothbrushing or something like this. We have a little table here. It's not a huge one, but same thing, allows you to eat a little bit. We kind of like it. This is food storage. We can go on pretty long, even though it's not a huge amount of space. We just stack things. Yeah. This is how much clothes Nick has for full time, like living. So it's mine is here, but it's always a bit messier, so I won't open it too much. Inside here we have the we have extra food. Okay, but it's mainly in the pump, where the pump is.
Wow, so every area of this vehicle is maximised, isn't it? You're using every bit of space, which I suppose you need to, like when you're living out of this 24/7 for literally years on end.
And then on this side, we have more. So this is spare parts compartments. Tools and spare parts. And I mean, we need the whole bench for that, literally.
So you're running an Engel fridge freezer there?
Yeah, and it's actually an old one. It's 12 years old and runs as the first day. It's really good and pretty efficient on battery usage. So
that's really impressive to be touring around the world with a 40-odd litre fridge.
We started with it and we thought it was pretty good, and then we arrived in Australia and people were like, I can't believe you're living full time with a fridge that size. Now I see the value of having a bigger fridge, but I mean, let's talk beers, because I think that's what takes most of the space of Australian fridge. That's it. It's like we put like 4 at a time and we just replace as we go.
That's it. You can drink a warm beer, that's all right. So what have you got up the top there?
Nets, extremely useful if you have a pop top, because otherwise it takes too much headroom, I think. But for us, it's perfect. We stack more food, backpacks. These are like our night compartments, Nick's one, mine. And that's the bed. So the bed comes down this way, and it's literally just 2 wooden planks, one on top of the other, but it's already made. So I just pull this, it comes
so it extends
about this way. And then I unfold the mattress, but it's all made, so then I just throw the pillows and it's ready. We're still able to go up and down if one is in the bed, for example.
That was my next question. What if someone wants to sleep in?
It's possible, because the bed comes still here. So like if Nick maybe sleeps, I'm able to go down the bed, go outside, do my life even under without standing, obviously. And he can sleep. And then we have a little curtain here that we use for also privacy in the evening. It's quite convenient. So people don't look through your windscreen and see straight in. Yeah, also if you have the lights here, you're working and you're in the middle of nowhere, and maybe, I don't know, we were in Colombia, for example, there's people everywhere in Colombia, even when you feel it's the middle of nowhere. So
a bit of privacy can be added.
That's good. So we chose the pop top because we wanted a setup that allows us to go quickly to the steering wheel. We're going in every country, and some are safer than others, and we just wanted to be out of a place as fast as possible without having to go outside. Not a problem in Australia, but it has been used in the past. You have
to think about when you're traveling the world. Amazing.
So it's really good. We really love it.
So we just stepped out to the rear of the vehicle to check out something pretty interesting going on with the floor system underneath the vehicle here.
So our floor has 3 usage. First one is floor. That's pretty simple. Second one is we can lift it up and use it as a second bed.
Oh, look at that. So it just slides out.
It just slides in. You put an extra bar on the side and you slide it here all the way. And that works as a bed.
Wow. So you guys have any disagreements, you can have a full bed each out on the road?
We could. I actually never thought about that.
Like, I'm taking the top bunk tonight.
So we usually put it as a bed at this level when we don't want to open the pop-up and sleep, because maybe security-wise we're not unsure, so we want to stay discreet. Or if it's really, really cold, then it happened that we actually slept on the lower level.
Right.
And the third application is that we can put this thing on the side of the car, and that's our table. It's our outside table.
Fantastic.
Literally.
It's so good when things have multiple uses. It's also an extra bed. It's also a table for the side of the vehicle. Very well thought out.
And it's a floor.
Yes, the most important use of all. So moving on to the interior of the vehicle in terms of the driver position, which is on the left-hand side. The first time I've ever actually been up close in person with a left-hand drive vehicle. Very unique. How is it driving on the left-hand side of the road with a left-hand drive vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, it's a first for us.
Right.
Luckily, it took us probably 2 days to make sure we're always staying on the left side of the road. We got very good at it now. And sometimes Matilda is like, Nick, make sure you're on the left. And I'm like, okay. So it happens. But there's a first for everything. So going on the left-hand drive for us is very normal. Shifting gears with the right hand is very normal. I think doing the opposite, what you guys are doing, would be a lot weirder for me.
For sure.
Now coming to the front, we did change a few things because before we start, Defenders have really built a front console really weirdly. Everything is tight, so when you're sitting inside, you're very tight. Your head is hitting the windows. The steering wheel is too large, so you're hitting the window. It doesn't have an armrest, so we had to add an armrest. So it makes it a little easier. Doesn't have any other storage areas, so we added this, and we had to add this little storage thing just to put our wallets or little papers that we keep right here, because otherwise you can't store anything. And because it doesn't have like a light and we have the bed on top, we added this little magnetic light so that we can still see stuff when we need to, and then we just put it up.
Perfect.
So just little creative ideas for Defenders. But what we did change is we put a smaller steering wheel. The idea is that now when we're holding, we're not always hitting our hand against the window. We changed the seats because Defender seats are very rough. The new Defender seats, which ours is a new Defender, are not bad, but we changed them to Schillman seats, which are great for long travels, especially for the back. For storage, there's a QB box here where we keep some of our quick access electronics like the camera and a few documents. Right here we have the little monitor and the control for the diesel heater. So we turn it on here and it blows out from back here into the cabin of the car. And it works very well. Like for example, we were in -15 Celsius in Alaska 2 years ago. And with a diesel heater, we were inside in t-shirts and shorts.
Wow.
So it really works. It's very recommended. Not needed probably in Australia, but yeah. So it takes the diesel straight from the diesel tank.
Oh, so you don't even have to do separate diesel?
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we have the rear camera here, which Matilda is saying hi to.
There we go. Perfect.
Just because it's so busy in the back, we can't see anything anymore.
Of course, yes. You've still retained that visibility.
Exactly, and it's a dash cam front and rear as well.
The quality is really impressive too.
And then this is the little TPMS monitor Matilda was talking about.
Oh, so you keep an eye on your tire pressures.
Exactly. And that's about it.
So that pretty much brings us to the end of this very comprehensive run through of this amazing Land Rover Defender. It's been completely customized to suit Nick and Matilde's every need pretty much. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to walk us through this beast. And it's been really nice just to meet you guys and chat about your story.
Yeah, thank you very much for filming all this.
No worries at all. It's this is one of my dream cars, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to check it out. So before we go, I just thought I might pass to you guys to see if there's any advice you give to people who are looking at traveling the world and potentially bringing their own vehicles along for the journey, because it's something I don't see done very often.
Okay. Well, I think the first thing is follow your dreams. Make sure you do what you want to do. So what we did, for example, is we knew we wanted to do a world tour. And what we did is we set a deadline of when we were going to quit our jobs and leave. And just when you have a deadline, just commit to it. And it's hard. There's always going to be a wedding. There's always going to be your brothers or sisters, whatever. It's always going to be a friend who's organizing something. Just pick a date and do it.
Just make it happen.
Just make it happen. And then once you close the car door and you're driving off, or if you're going sailing or backpacking, or if you want to be a wedding planner, whatever it is, the moment you start it, you'll feel just a huge smile come up your face.
This is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much once again. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this very comprehensive run through of the Defender. Make sure you also go and check out Nick and Mitchilde's social media accounts. They're documenting every step of their travels around Australia and around the world as well. Their handle will be on the video right now, also in the description down below, so make sure you go and follow along on their journey, because it's such a unique story and definitely worth following along for the ride. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Awesome. How did that feel?
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.